So since the last time we spoke, again, like I went through another tectonic shift, if you may call it that.
I know what you guys are thinking. A serious cold open which is not funny or didn't make me laugh out loud. That's because this is a serious episode. I know what you guys are thinking again. Nicketronix? Again? I thought you said new people in this new season. Well, it's because we had to reshoot an old episode we had already taken. But trust me, this is an episode that needs to be talked about. It's about mental health and about therapy. And especially during mental health awareness, I think this was a very, very necessary episode to make. It's a very serious episode, so I'm not going to take much of your time. Let's just jump into it. Welcome back to the show.
Hello, Chella. I got it right this time.
Amazing to have you back.
And I'm glad to be back as well.
First of all, let's start it off in a very positive manner. How are you today?
I am good, man. Like I've been busy. In my lingo, that's good. Like if you're busy, then it means you're occupied with something, and then like you just spend a lot less time worrying about shit that doesn't matter. So yeah, basically that.
Well, that's wonderful to hear, man. What have you been doing since the last time we had a call?
Since the last time we spoke, I think I took some time off to reassess my priorities, and of course there was work. I work full time, so I was focusing a little bit on that. I took some time off social media. I took 3 weeks of social media, and I think that's the longest I've gone without it.
How busy have you been doing during quarantine? I mean, it's another way of asking how has your mental health been during quarantine?
I would say my mental health has been pretty great since the last time we spoke. In fact, I told you that I was feeling a lot better than before the last time we spoke. So it's better than that is what I'll say this time.
As a person who advocates mental health and someone who's a stand-up comedian and a content creator, where do you think we should draw the line when it comes to joking about mental health?
Now, I'm still trying to figure out what the line is, but I'm pretty sure that it is a very thin line. Now, especially with jokes, you really can't quantify it into like black and white, or like you can't. It's not binary. It's not just ones and zeros, right? Because humor in itself is subjective. So some people thrive on dark humor, and they might find like even the most distasteful suicide jokes funny. But on the other hand, you have people who like easy humor that's just simple and not very hard to get, and they might be offended or disturbed by such jokes. So as a comedian, the onus is on me to perform to the right audience. At the end of the day, the message that you deliver shouldn't be something that hurts somebody else, or shouldn't be something that puts somebody else in harm's way. And apart from that, if it's like a certified dark set, like if you acknowledge that okay, this set is dark and it is dark humor and I like performing and I want to perform it, then go ahead, but just do it in front of the right audience. There is a time and place to do these things, because you really can't expect somebody that doesn't like dark jokes to be receptive when you perform, and you can't blame the audience for not liking your jokes, right? And if you're, as a content creator, if you're going to be posting it on a public platform, again, you still have an audience. Now, at least with stand-up, you have a division of sorts where only certain kinds of audience will attend certain kinds of shows. But with the online space, it gets a little more complicated, because you don't know. And once you cross a certain limit, like once you cross, like say that 10,000 or even that 5,000 or 7,000 mark, you don't have a say on who gets to see your content, or you don't get to keep track of who is seeing your content and who's reacting to it. So as a content creator, it's your responsibility to say that this is disturbing content that might affect certain people. So if you are somebody, like basically putting up a trigger warning or a disclaimer, and at that point you've done your job as a creator. Now it's up to the audience if they want to watch it or not.
So regardless of what topic, even if it's not mental health, I think what you're trying to say is we have to read the room before we make a joke.
Exactly. That's pretty much it.
Given a lot of recent media controversies and how we have seen media treating mental health, How do you think the future generations of, I would say, Indians or teenagers react to mental health, given how it's portrayed in media?
I don't know, I can't speak for how teenagers will react to it or how teenagers are taking it. But again, if you want to bring awareness to mental health, it has to be something that you do actively, right? It's not something that you do when a celebrity dies of suicide or when a celebrity opens up about depression and stuff like that. So if you're going to be talking about mental health on social media, there are people that support you, and on the other hand, there's an equal number of people out there to call you an attention seeker or just paint you as somebody that's sad and depressing and like just dull and stuff like that. Now, it might be hard for people to understand, but what I'm saying is that you don't necessarily have to post stuff on a social media platform to be an advocate for mental health. So, in that sense, again, like people should start supporting issues, not just trends.
I mean, you shared your personal experiences with therapy. Now, therapy is a huge part of of dealing with mental health. So,
Yeah.
I mean, how have you personally benefited from therapy?
Now, for starters, I think the major takeaway is that I was able to acknowledge my own flaws and not judge myself for it. And I was able to, somehow, I used to think in fallacies, man. Like I used to overthink a lot, and most of the things that I convinced myself to do were based on some sort of a fallacy or the other. Now, with therapy, I got to confront what is real. Now, that was a major change for me personally because that's something that I wasn't able to do for years. And also about a year and a half ago, I was in a very I was at rock bottom too. Like I was dealing with shit, and when I look back now, I realized that most of the times, it was me that caused all my problems, right? With the way I react to things, with the way I deal with issues, with the way the way I blew things out of proportion, things that didn't even matter, things that wouldn't have mattered a week after that. So, like, therapy helps you to deal with it in a friendly way, like in a way that you get to nurture yourself, if I'm making sense. And next up, it helped me acknowledge issues at hand and look at myself and say that, okay, these are issues that you are having due to external factors. Now, the first point I said, it was all the internal factors that were in play. Now, the second part of it is the external factors. I used to obsess over all the bad cards that had been dealt over the last since the time I was a teenager, maybe. Because imagine being in a space where you wanted to go abroad to pursue your undergrad, and there were like amazing chances for you to do that, but that gets for reasons you couldn't do that. And then you pick yourself back up and you decide that you want to go to law school. You take the CLAT, you get into a national law university, and you couldn't go and pursue that as well because of situations. So, to put it simply, I mean, I haven't gone public about this, but around the time I got into around the time I took my entrances for law school, my parents got separated, right? And due to that reason, I wasn't able to pursue that. Now, that was another roadblock, and I ended up in a college that, I don't want to take names, but it wasn't the best environment for me, because I was expecting something else from college, but what I got was something that was vastly different, and I wasn't really comfortable being in that situation. Now, again, there were a lot of ups and downs with my career choices and life decisions after that. And to be very frank, even until this year, maybe say February or March, before the lockdown, there still used to be points where I used to have some amount of regret about all the decisions, all the things that didn't go my way. But over the lockdown and over the time that I've had to I've had to introspect, and I've had to sort of actually in therapy, you do certain exercises and stuff like that. So I finally had the time to do every single thing on that list, and I was able to process it properly and deal with things as they come, and basically just be mindful of what is going on. Like, mindful is just a fancy way of saying focus on what you have at hand. Like, just look in front, do what you have to do, and move on to the next thing. That's basically what mindfulness is. With therapy, one thing that people don't realize is that it's a two-sided coin. Now, you have a therapist who's willing to help you, but you have to be willing to take the effort to get better as well. And one more thing that I've noticed with with therapy is that finding the right therapist is extremely important. Like, somebody that, because basically finding a therapist is like finding a best friend that you pay every month to discuss your issues, right? And if you don't have that vibe, or if you don't have that connection with the therapist, chances are you won't have a great experience. Even if it doesn't turn out bad, chances are you'll end up feeling unfulfilled, or you'll feel incomplete. So finding the right therapist is also important, and that happens through trial and error. Or you could go out of your way to do your research and ask your friends, or read up reviews online, or talk to other people that have seen the therapist and see if you can go ahead and get a consultation.
I hope you guys like the video. I know it's a very serious one, but it just had to be done. Mental health is really, really important. So share this video, try to spread awareness as much as you can. Mental health is something that is to be taken very, very seriously. It is not a sham. It is not for attention seeking. It is very, very serious. So anyway, next week I'm going to be very lighthearted. It's going to be a very lighthearted episode. Remember, you guys gave me songs to judge. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to judge your favorite songs from your favorite artist with a very unique personality, if I were to say. See you.